Nations plays host to the ultimate in youth volleyball talent with teams from around the country and around the world. Today, these AAU stars hope to dig deep, proving to themselves and their clubs what it takes to be champions. Welcome to the 44th Girls Junior National Volleyball Championships. The best young volleyball players in the country are here at the ESPN Wide World of Sports, the 44th AAU Junior National Volleyball Championship, as PNK out of Louisville, Kentucky will take on OTVA Rox Red in the 15 Open Final. What a story PNK has been all week long, defeating Asics Munciana and Legacy Elite in the semifinal. But if they were to take down OTVA, it would be by far their biggest victory of the summer. As we welcome you inside our state-of-the-art studio here at the ESPN Wide World of Sports, our home base, alongside former UCF outside hitter Aaron Campbell. I'm Drew Fellio. It's been a fabulous tournament so far, but now we've got the 15 Open Championship. None of these players are committed, playing for team titles, and also looking to impress here today, Aaron.
Yeah, and as I'm walking into the studio today, I saw that, that little logo, Penn State. Russ Rose is here. There's some head coaches from Illinois, from UTSA. So not only are these girls playing for a national championship, but they're playing to get noticed by those big programs. So it's just going to be completely competitive all across the board.
And when it comes to their future, probably the biggest match that these young ladies have played in their lives. Okay, first, the team from PNK, Louisville, Kentucky, tremendous talent. Elena Scott, what a setter she is. Olivia Roberts, also a tremendous hitter, Aaron.
And Elena Scott really is going to be the quarterback, both emotionally and physically, for this PNK team.
Their head coach is Connie Holzmeyer. She's got college coaching experience at Kentucky Wesleyan and Georgetown College of Kentucky. Just a tremendous voice for these young ladies to follow. For OTVA, Ellie McKissock, one to watch. She'll wear number 3.
Yeah, and has a sister that played very competitive level volleyball. So high volleyball family, very athletic. Keep an eye out for number 4 Jenkins, number 7 Duran, number 14 Head, and number 15 Conley. This team is stacked with really good players.
And they are well coached too. Molito Ilutiza. How is he different from other coaches here at Junior Nationals?
He just breeds the best out of his players. He's super competitive, and he puts them through very tough situations in practice, so they're prepared for very high-level volleyball.
Expect a very defensive battle here inside the HP Fieldhouse. Very athletic teams on both sides. Not a tremendous amount of size we're going to see here today, as you see Lauren Gibbs right there, one of the underrated players in this tournament. We're going by AAU rules, of course. Best of 3 sets here today. Rally scoring to 25 points. The third set we play to 15. And you have to win by 2 to take a set.
And these first 2 sets are really kind of marathons compared to that third set. You play to 25 points, you have a lot more time to make up any deficit, but in that third set, it is a sprint and dash to get to 15.
Underway, Rox Red on the right, PNK playing on your left. Nice dig there by Carpenter as they try and attack that left side. Another dig again, as Foot couldn't get it down. Talked about it being a defensive match. You see what I mean. Got tremendous diggers on both sides here this afternoon. Set up by Jenkins. Good looking swing that time by Mengual, but she couldn't score. And one of the longer points here to start this match. Carpenter puts it over again, and it's a point for PNK.
And very, very heads-up playing by Olivia Roberts, because she was bouncing off that net. The ball came off the net, and she was really controlled and made a nice play.
Get a look at Lauren Denard and Sean Davis, our officials for this 15 Open Final. Block presence at the net, evident for OTVA, but the open spot right there, and Olivia Roberts able to find it.
And very good hitter coverage from this PNK team. If an attacker goes up to take a big swing, you want to have the confidence in your teammates that they're going to be there and transition and make that play happen. Great heads-up play by Olivia Roberts to go to the corner.
A tremendous tap on the other side. That's Leandra Mengual Duran, a very aggressive player. She is a 5-tool player, Aaron. Does everything you need to do on the court.
And coaches college coaches love utility players like that. They like people that they can kind of put in anywhere in the puzzle, because we see a lot in college, people get injured. They want to have somebody they can rely on to kind of play every single position.
Another attack. Here's Carpenter on the set. Kept alive by McKissock. McKissock wearing number 3, the dark jersey, on the right side for OTVA. So active she is. Well, we are seeing just tremendous defensive efforts early on as the point won by OTVA.
And because both teams are playing such good defense, it's going to be about dig quality. And because of how good this dig was, Taylor Head was able to take a nice deep swing, get her approach, get her feet to the ball for that kill. So it's going to be all about where the ball is dug on the court and what options the setter will have.
All tied at 2, and how about the block at the net? That's Marika Verth and Taylor Head teaming up. Taylor Head with tremendous heart, and there's Sydney Conley, number 15, one of the best blockers at the 15 age group in this tournament. Early 3-2 edge for OTVA. That doesn't go over as Addison Foote mishit at that time. Another point for the team from Tampa and Orlando.
And Addison Foote is really doing a good job of fighting to get back to her point so she can take that big approach. Looked like that set was just a little bit too far inside and she didn't quite get her feet there.
Jenkins to the middle. Now it's Jenkins. And the shot.
Oh, great dig.
But it still goes down as Sydney Conley able to score, and that's going to draw a nice round of applause from Coach Ilutiza.
And as a right-handed attacker, this is actually the hardest swing to make. But you see, if you watched where her footwork started, she actually started a little bit farther inside the court because she knew the set was going to be a little bit inside and was able to attack it straight on.
Addison Foote hits it wide. You slowly see, Aaron, the attack from PNK being pushed back further and further by OTVA.
Yeah, and it's all because the good sound blocking. There were a few blocks that were covered by PNK in those first few rounds, but now they're overthinking the play. They're thinking, I have to hit around the block, not make balls on the court.
Another hit wide, and all of a sudden it's 7-2. The team from Louisville needs a timeout. So PNK and Coach Holzmeyer will talk things over. PNK only with 2 teams here in this championship. Let's listen in to Coach Holzmeyer.
We've got to try to reach a little bit higher, get around the block. And we won the first couple of points because we're scrambling, getting the ball back, getting the ball back. Now we're getting a little timid, a little impatient, we're hitting the ball. Get up there, swing smart, cut around the block, put them in a bind, and force them to make some errors.
And total emphasis in that huddle.
Make sure no matter where the sit is.
In that huddle about the block presence. How do you get around the block? And it just plays onto that. Okay, now because the block was set up so well, the outside hitters and the attackers have to overthink what they're doing, and that tends to slow them down just a little bit. But if it's just a hand change or it's a hand position change that's going to make that ball hit the ground, just like that, hit high off those hands if you can't hit through the block.
That's Kaylee Lowe, number 12 for PNK, as our net cam will be working hard for us this afternoon. The spike by Lowe.
And great full extension on that elbow. Just swung right through the ball, had a really nice high extension, and hit over the block.
That's hit into the net. So Carpenter cannot get it over. Another point for Rox Red. It's almost like you play a great football team, and in the early quarter, they're blowing you off the ball. That kind of seems like what's going on right now with OTVA.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's very similar to what's happening right now. It just seems that there's no offense that can get started because of the great blocking like we just saw from Taylor Head, stepping directly in front of the attacker, pressing her hands over the net, and not giving her any options. And great close by Lauren Gibbs.
Taylor Head, Lauren Gibbs. What a combo that is for OTVA Rox Red. McKissock gets on the deck again. Boy, she is a player. And scrambling right now is PNK as Rox Red is clicking on all cylinders.
And I know I've said it, but dig quality led to that fantastic play. Because the ball was dug close to the net, your setter, Sierra Jenkins, didn't have to fight very hard to get that ball behind her to get to Sydney Conley, and there was no block in front of her.
There's what PNK is looking for, Olivia Roberts on the quick set.
And a team that's actually scoring a lot of runs against you, the best thing you can do is score what we call a first ball kill. The second that ball comes over, you side out that point immediately and stop the momentum in the favor of the team that's scoring or ahead.
Tremendous dig that time. PNK trying to swing it together, but a little miscommunication there, and it costs them. Big point.
And you have to think kind of like the David and Goliath mentality here. You've seen Rox Red be in this position before. We've called these names out in national championship matches previously, you and I have, Drew. So we know that this team's experienced playing at this level. And for PNK, it might just be some nerves and some jitters that are coming in that are affecting the focus of these girls. And as the match goes on, you'll see that stuff kind of slow down.
Tremendous slide executed by Olivia Roberts. Roberts here, a great athlete. Always smiling, too, and this heck of a play.
And she's really been their main offensive generator at this point. Every time she's touched the ball, she's done something really well, either on the blocking side and in her attacks as well.
Nice dig on that back line. Elena Scott able to get down, and a point scored by PNK as they are attacking that back line right now. Abby Hands, she is thrown in everywhere on the court, Aaron. She's effective everywhere.
It almost looked like it was a knuckleball, like she didn't get on top of it, but it sailed to the position on the court where McKissock was still trying to fight to get back to her defensive spot, left that 5-6 seam wide open for the attack.
So PNK starting to hang in with Rox Red after Rox Red dominated the opening minutes, and already a few wet spots on the court. This is center stage to this 44th AAU Junior National Championship. Remember, we're playing all over Central Florida, it seems like, playing at the J Center right across the way. Also the Convention Center, Aaron. There is no other volleyball tournament quite like this. Emily No. As this one's tapped over, look at McKissock. Can't save it this time. Another point for PNK. I mentioned the size of this great tournament. All the athletes, all the coaches, look at that. 2,400 plus teams, over 36,000 athletes, 13,000 plus coaches. Are you kidding me? There is nothing like AAU Junior National Volleyball. It is a spectacle here, year in and year out.
And that's why you see all those college coaches coming here, because they can essentially recruit anybody that they want in one spot, and plus they're in Orlando on Disney's property. I think that's kind of a good gig. So,
you know something, Aaron?
I
don't think you were just waving at those coaches. I think you were maybe trying to plead for one extra year of eligibility. Maybe Penn State? What do you think? I think you always had dreams of, Stanford perhaps. What do you think?
If I get a new shoulder and some new knees, maybe I consider it.
The future is in the hands of these young ladies. So happy to be here, excited to be playing in this championship. And an entertaining first set we have seen so far. 13-8, PNK will serve. So PNK, as I was saying, two teams they have sent here to these Junior Nationals, the 18s and the 15s. So no 13s, 14s, 16s, or 17s. Very small club. And that formula has really worked for them. What a play there as Mangual Duran, so aggressive, elevates and throws it down.
And she just has such big explosion off the ground. She gets that really nice high contact point and then just turns her shoulders at the last second to crunch down that line.
Mangual Duran, third kill already here in this first frame. Touched at the net, kept alive, put over by OTVA. Elena Scott sets it up. Scott right in the middle of that PNK attack. Back row now, and this one doesn't go over. Point for PNK, starting to win some of those battles at the net.
You'd like to see that they are winning because they're working so hard in those lateral movements across the net. They're getting their feet to the ball. They're making the play. Then she's staying in base. She's watching the ball, tracking, and really owning that net. So great job by Kaylee Lowe.
Another point for PNK, so they have pulled to within 4. Hanging in against the juggernaut, OTVA. Now Caitlin Carpenter. Jenkins. Can't dig it out. That's Mangwal Durant, 4th kill already.
And you can see the changes, how she elevates her elbow just a little bit and where she puts it. When she wants to go down the line, it's really nice and high. When she tries to go cross court, it's almost like she hits the ball a little bit farther out, so she gets that deep shot. So really, really good ball control from a young player.
Right back. Addison Foote. She brings the hammer on the outside.
And outside hitters love that line shot because it's right there. That's the direction of where their body's facing. She just crunches that ball. Watch out, coach. Might get one right in the face.
In the line of fire, Coach Latiza. Now the tap, played nicely by PNK. And up against the block, nicely done. Kaylee Lowe with another point, and they're within 3.
And you see that happen a lot. Watch how Mangwal, she doesn't get her feet right. She wants to swing block, but she knows that she's late, so she just tries to throw her hands up there, and that's where she becomes really susceptible off that block.
Coach Latiza, first sign of a little bit of alarm here in the first set. Timeout by OTVA, Rox Red. You know, PNK, they've just taken a group of athletes, and the sum right now perhaps a little bit greater than their parts. They're believing they weathered the early storm from this Rox Red team, and now, Aaron, I think we're going to have a heck of a volleyball game here.
Yeah, and I think the jitters are gone. Now they're kind of getting more comfortable in the match. They're starting to really understand what their opponent's doing a better job of reading where the attacks are coming from, and being aggressive. Even though that ball is out, that's the perfect opportunity for them to really put the pace on OT, have those really tough serves, and that ball was out maybe by a sliver, an inch or two, so really attacking that serve.
Set up by Jenkins. Oh, right down. Tremendous job by Sydney Conley. This is one of the best middle blockers in this entire tournament.
And really good play. The pass was perfect, so they're running that double quick tempo, and you can see number 12, Kaylee Lowe, trying to chase that middle attacker across the court and just leaves that seam wide open.
And the run halted for the moment. Rox Red able to string now 3 straight points together and back to a 6-point lead. Mangwal will serve. Rox Red trying to get PNK out of system. That time Roberts able to get the point, 18-13.
And we've seen Olivia Roberts be best in the serve-receive position. She goes up there, she's right in front of the setter. They need to get the digs a little bit better so they can feed her in transition, and what that does is it frees up some opportunities for the outside as well. So really activate her in those transition points so they can start tallying up those points, because she's been a great asset to the front row.
Jenkins sets it up. That's just too good. Taylor Head again. Just tremendous heart for Rox Red here in this championship. You can sense when OTVA gets challenged, they do not panic. This team has tremendous confidence and belief in each other. Kept alive by Jenkins. McKissock sets it up. Back row smash, a little bit short. So Mangwal doesn't get that over, and PNK's block was right there as well.
And a lot of times when a player goes in the back row, they kind of hesitate. There's some little hesitation. So because the block was there, the swing wasn't as powerful, and then her team just wasn't there to react to that coverage play. But it's a good swing by Mangwal, but great blocking by this PNK team.
Another joust won by PNK. So 19-15, trying to hang in here in the final moments of set number 1.
And even though Olivia Roberts, she dove in, but you see her hand positions. Even though her body was diving, she was taking away the positions on the court that she's supposed to as a middle blocker. Her feet weren't perfect, but she kept her hands very strong.
Tight against the net. Right down, Lauren Gibbs. Been a little bit quiet here at the start of this match.
And that's why those tempo attacks are so important to execute well, because if the last 2 steps of the setter and the last 2 steps of the middle blocker are in sync, that's how powerful that attack can be.
Side out back to PNK, and this perhaps their final chance to try and catch up to Rox Red. Olivia Roberts will do the serving here. Tough time for a service error. Assistant coaches for PNK, Sherry Scott, also Robert Scott and John Holzmeyer helping out. Lauren Gibbs along that front line, playing well at the moment for OTVA Rox Red. Hands keeps it alive. Now in the middle, Gibbs in position. They decide to send it right over. Jenkins set up. And this is going to be an illegal
back row attack. So that last step of Sydney Conley, she actually started that approach off well, but it was like an inch over the line. You cannot jump and attack above the net if any part of your foot is in front of that 10-foot line. If you're out of the back row, you're technically a back row attacker in that play.
Officials right on top of that call. Tied against the net this time. That's net violation. So 22-17. And heading back now to the sideline is Gibbs. She'll serve it actually for OTVA.
And at this level of volleyball, ball control is the biggest name of the game, especially when you're trying to fight back from a team that has a big lead from you. You have to control the ball well so that you can execute plays just like this. Perfect pass, perfect set. Your attacker had every shot that she wanted, and a really good job by Kaylee Lowe just to add that off-speed shot to her arsenal.
Caitlin Carpenter now. Go-to girl on this PNK team. Carpenter will set it up. Foot puts it over. More good defense from Rox Red. It's been a very well-played defensive battle so far. Jenkins, little tap. PNK right there waiting for it. Jenkins again, going to that back row. The back row getting on the floor for PNK, and we got a net violation, 23-18.
And great swing by Kaylee Lowe, but even better defense by this OT Rox Red team to be on that line and not let her have that. I love the aggression, though, on this PNK team. They're going up there, and they're still swinging really, really tough, and that's how you battle back from a deficit.
Servicing-wise, we have to stay away from the libero. We're serving every ball to the libero. The libero is the one who's establishing the game. And right now, this is the third time that I say, stop. You need to use the middle of the court. Not to the side, to the middle of the court. My middles, please. The middle is moving on 31 here, and you still are here waiting for the set to go. As soon as you see that middle moving, don't worry if you're late to the opposite. Follow that person. Come on.
Coach Latiza, well, he is very, very quick to diagnose what is going on out there, isn't he?
Yeah, and even though they're ahead and they're almost about to close out this first set, it's still he's very job focused. He's pointing out to each and every player what they need to be doing because they don't want to give this PNK team hope because they know that they have the players to fight back and battle back into a match.
Jenkins keeps it alive, and she has been the story of this first frame. Miguel Duran, so aggressive along that front line. And it's game point.
And just that really high extension creates good opportunities for you. As long as you keep her elbow high and you swing high on the ball, good things will happen.
Jenkins, go to her one more time. Keep it off the floor. That was a great dig by Bevan. And a point scored by PNK. Good resilience, even though they're probably going to drop this first frame. You got to fight all the way to the end.
And Eleanor Bevan needed that dig. That was a huge, powerful swing by Duran. She went up there and took a big rip. Now that's going to make her rethink where she's going to attack on the court. And just by making outside hitters think, we tend to kind of mess up sometimes.
Sydney Conley with game point gets it done for Rox Red. 25-19, they take this first game. They were threatened about midway through, but a fast start and an even better finish gets it done for Rox Red here in the first game of the 15 Open Final at the AAU Junior National Volleyball Championship.
Disney theme parks are waiting for you at Walt Disney World Resort in Florida and Disneyland Resort in California. Known for courses lined with Disney entertainment and the best finisher medalers around, Run Disney events are a must-do for veteran runners and newcomers alike. For more information, visit rundisney.com.
Good evening, and welcome to the NBA Draft at Barclays Center. With the third pick, the Philadelphia 76ers select. With the second pick, the Los Angeles Lakers select. With the first pick, the Boston Celtics select.
The NBA Draft, June 22nd on ESPN.
Go the distance with Disney and the ESPN Wide World of Sports complex in Florida by training or competing in one of the many track and field events hosted here annually. From Disney Track and Field Spring Training to the Walt Disney World Cross Country Classic to Disney Track and Field Showcase. Get ready for your season or get noticed by any of the numerous college recruiters in attendance. Check out DisneyTrackandField.com for more information.
Welcome back to the 15 Open Championship, 25-19. Rox Red takes the first game, and you're looking at Leandra Mangual-Duran, one of the many players impressing here early on. Boy, what a right-handed swing she has got. On the other side, Olivia Roberts also doing her thing.
And Olivia Roberts was probably the hardest working person on the court in that first set. She was getting back to her point and then doing everything she can when she gets that set to execute the play and get a kill for her team.
So 4 kills for Roberts after one game. And Mangual-Duran, boy, attacking from the left, just devastating.
Yeah, and swinging all over the court. She did a nice job out of the back row, but obviously at her best in the front row, mixing up her shots, finding that line shot, finding that cross-court seam shot, and then just getting a really nice high extension to make sure that she's scoring points or creating opportunities for her team.
So keep an eye on Roberts, number 2. And Mangual-Duran, number 7, the best offensive threats so far for PNK and Rox Red. Busy day here at the ESPN Wide World of Sports. Got Junior National Volleyball going on. Also got baseball going on fields across the complex. Were you able to get a parking spot, Aaron?
Yeah, it was actually, yeah. I flashed my credential. I'm like, hey, I'm one of the people. Let me in. Please let me park.
Summer, the busiest time of year here at the Walt Disney World Resort. All these players so happy to be here. You got parents, you've got relatives, friends in the stands watching the best volleyball players in the country play for a championship. Louisville, Kentucky, the team on the right. They call themselves PNK, taking on the team from Orlando and Tampa, OTVA Rox Red. And it's going to be Sierra Jenkins serving to start. First set went to Rox Red. Let's see if PNK can get off to a better start here in game 2. Defense very good in this match. Mangual-Duran able to get it over. Bevan keeps it alive. This one's going to be hit a little long.
But it's those little plays. Instead of free-balling the ball over the net, it's forming an attack and trying to throw your team off. It's those little things that you see as the biggest transition from, let's say, the 13-14s to now the 15s. There's just a bigger sense of aggression in the match, and you're going to take those more uncomfortable swings because you just have better skill overall.
Roberts can't get that kill to go down. Front live again, very active for PNK, and that's going to be an illegal hit for Louisville, so another OTVA point.
And I love that heads-up play, trying to go to the corner, throw the other team off their balance. You know, nope, they're all scrambling around still. Just has to be executed with the hands.
Sierra Jenkins, good job of serving right now for Rox Red. Conley able to dig it up, and a hit from the back row. That's Taylor Head, who has been extremely effective in this match.
And I had the chance to watch Taylor Head play in her high school season this past season, and even just from that, she's gotten exceedingly better. She's a lot more aggressive, and just being, her mentality is more aggressive. She wouldn't have jumped on that last swing, and I love to see her grow and be more comfortable out of the back row.
Just continues to improve. Right now, PNK on the defensive. This is not the start they were looking for in game 2. As slammed that time by Sydney Conley, and just like that, it's 4-0. And that young lady right there, Ellie McKissock, doing it all right now.
And I love that double quick tempo that they're running right now. Sierra Jenkins is doing a really good job of setting up Conley on that back one and getting on top of that ball. They haven't used the middle attack portion of that yet, so keep an eye out for that as we go on through the match.
Very well. It's a good start. We have to keep their mentality. They're going to make points back. So it's our job. Can we play that quick side-out game? Okay? There's going to be a point in the game. There's going to be momentum. We have to recognize those momentums, and we have to stop them. At the same time, you're here. This is your tournament, so you're going to push for that 25 points as hard as you can. Push as hard as you can. There's no tomorrow. Push as hard as you can.
Well, you heard words from Coach Latiza. This is your home. This is your tournament. That says it all. These players have taken ownership of this event year in and year out, Aaron.
And this is what they've been playing for all season. So I love that he puts that kind of big emotion behind it, because it is so important for them to have this championship. It is everything that they've worked this whole season for.
This is going long. Roberts, so far OTVA has her shadowed. And that young lady, Conley, big reason why Roberts has not been able to score at will. PNK right now looking for some answers, and they need a point. They finally get it from Addison Foote.
And you heard Coach Ilutizo talk about, hey, we have to stop serving to the libero, but the libero for this PNK team, Eleanor Bevan, is all over the floor making good plays, and because she's kind of led the charge in the serve receive, they're able to execute that play almost to perfection.
Jenkins, there she is again, going to Mangwal Duran, dug by McKissock. McKissock's been everywhere, and that'll be a point for PNK. You know, Aaron, this great sport of volleyball, sometimes in basketball, if you're struggling, the message is slow it down, slow it down. But in volleyball, when you're struggling, all the time is speed it up, isn't it?
Sometimes, I mean, let's say the play's pretty panicky. The best thing you can do is pass that ball nice and high, take a deep breath, allow your players to get their feet underneath the ball. And because you slow the game down, you actually throw your opponent off of their momentum and the speed that they want to play. So there are some benefits if you're on the side of the team that doesn't have the momentum in your favor. You do want to slow it down. Now, if you're the one trying to dictate that pace and just push and push and push, obviously you want to have the speed behind you.
Head keeps it alive. Oh, from the back row, that's tremendous. Mangwal Duran, I believe she was playing up front that time, but man, oh man, did she elevate.
And because you've had Connolly get 15 kills from that right-hand side, it opens up that middle zone for somebody like Mangwal to come in and run that too with virtually no block in front of her.
Guarantee college coaches right now taking notes, watching Mangwal Duran do her thing. As PNK comes through, Addison Foote trying to keep her team in it.
And what I love about Addison Foote is she's a very low error player. Yes, she might not score as many points, but she does her job. She doesn't hit the ball out of bounds. She makes the defense dig her and play defense against her.
Another point for PNK. The PNK is pulled to within 6-4 now. This PNK team had a tough second day pool with Northern Lights and Legacy. Their draw just brutal, and their road to a championship. So they're not intimidated by OTVA, but clearly OTVA, the most balanced team that they have seen this week in Orlando.
And just when you think you're free of an outside attacker with Mangwal Duran, here comes Taylor Head into the front row, and she plays very different style of volleyball. So it's hard to react to that from a defensive standpoint when you're so used to having one person attack, and here comes another.
Ball hit long. Yeah, just so many weapons in red. Here's Ellie McKissock now, the libero. Class of 2020. She is going to be a prized recruit. This block goes out of bounds, so it'll be a side out for PNK. There's Taylor Head. Tremendous talent and tremendous heart. This young lady brings it day in and day out, to practice, to games, always trying to get better. McKissock with the dig. Now from that left side, right into the block and down. Taylor Head. That's what I'm talking about.
And again, high arm swings breed good results. So just because the block, even though the block was there and set up pretty well, just that little mess up in the fingers, because Head hits that ball so high, she's able to take advantage of it and have that ball, ricochet almost between those two blockers.
Emily No now inserted into the game. She'll get some playing time for Rox Red. See if PNK tries to go right at her. Sets it up this time, taking a little bit off it. Point scored. Heads up play by Taylor Head.
And doesn't like to use the off-speed shot very often, so I like that she went up there, looked like she was going to swing, and then just slowed the elbow down just a little bit. Still had some top spin, dropped in the middle of the court. Perfect execution on the roll shot.
Joust now, and let's see who wins this. It'll be Rox Red once again. Slowly distancing themselves now, 11-5. Timeout on the court once again. PNK will discuss things.
Mental errors where we don't know where we're supposed to be on defense. Sometimes we're walking, we don't even know where the hitters are coming from, and then we're surprised about who's hitting where. We need to identify who's your front row hitters, where they're going, and then be calling that out. Even for you on the back row, be calling that out, helping them out. Seven's coming around for a 2. Outside hitters running 32. Be helping out, calling those things. So we look like sometimes like they're surprised. Hey, come on.
The first pass, though, we gotta be calm. Calm, receive, serve, calm.
Now, Aaron, she obviously is trying to make sure her players are in the right position and keeping to their responsibilities. But I think the problem is OTVA, there's just so much talent, so many interchangeable parts. It's taking them a little aback right now. They're not able to get comfortable.
Yeah, but it's also like keep it simple. If you're a front row player, one thing that coaches always told me is you watch the ball, you look at the setter, you look at the ball again, and then you find your hitter. So you have to be tracking that at all times. And I love that point of, hey, we're not recognizing where our attackers are coming from. We need to go back to the fundamentals of doing that because we've gone away from it in this match. And the back row is actually the best eyes. They kind of have the bird's eye view, so to speak, for where the attackers are coming from. So they need to communicate that to their front row players.
Interesting. 7-point difference now, and that one into the net. Abby Hands can't put it over. The lead extended to 8. So OTVA last year 14 and under AAU champions, also USA Volleyball champions as well, trying to add another trophy to their mantle here at the Walt Disney World Resort. Put over by Jenkins, and another battle won at the net by OTVA. Right now, their size and their depth is imposing their will.
And I think it's also the discipline, because they do such a good job of controlling the front row. If the block is set up well, the defense positions are perfectly placed. They're just doing all of those little things really well, and it's hard to score against teams that are executing their defensive positions at that high of a level.
Emily Knows had a nice run serving it. 14-5. Taylor Head. Kept alive by No. McKissock on the set. Head once again dug by Hands. Front row tapped over by Carpenter for the point.
And that's what PNK did so well in that first set, was activating the middle in transition and in the serve-receive. Even though the middle attacker didn't get all the way back to that point to take that big approach, it was a good way just to get your hand on the ball and try to push that ball across the net.
PNK trying to get back in this. See if they can do it. That's a good way to start. Abby Hands, her versatility has been huge this week, a big point there.
And the last few swings Abby Hands has been really tight to the net, so she actually, it's better when the ball's a little bit farther off, and she was able to swing wherever she wanted to into that deep seam and got a nice kill out of it.
How about Taylor Head, though? Her percentage hitting off the charts in this match. Everything she is touching is going down.
And I'm pretty sure the only error she's had is the one she had from the back row where she just didn't take a full swing. She took some off. So you're talking about high percentage. It's like a batter's hitting percentage. If it's above, 400, that's a good number. She's probably hitting in the 400s, 500s right now.
Kaylee low scores for PNK, but you know, the points right now for PNK, they don't really have that authority and that enthusiasm that OTVA's points have right now. Does that mean anything?
Yeah, I think it just kind of reflects what the team mentality is right now, especially when you have a big play, you're finally getting back in, and you have a service error like that. That's the one thing you can control is the serving game, so you really have to settle down and focus into that. But it's not like PNK seems to be scoring points. It seems to be that they're capitalizing on errors from OT. So they need to take that control back and score the way that they want to put the ball on the floor.
Hitting right against that block. OTVA can't handle it this time. That's a good job by Abby Hands again. So 21, Abby Hands making a difference up front for the team from Louisville, Kentucky.
And now we have Olivia Roberts back in the front row for PNK. So how is that going to affect this run or this deficit? How are they going to incorporate her back into this match?
And another point. So PNK on a nice little run. This PNK team, that second day pool, they went through Northern Lights and Legacy. Also, they were down 12-8 in the third set to a team from Michio, Chicago, and won eventually that third set 15-13. So they have played against the odds, but when you have 6 service errors against a team like Rox Red, and they've only got 2, it's not a very good stat in your favor.
Yeah, and they haven't had the aces to make up for that difference. They don't have any aces in this match, but yet they're giving away 6 points. You have to try to match that somehow. Their kill percentage isn't very high. They're hitting some balls out of bounds in the second set. So even if you serve aggressively, you have to have something else to kind of balance it out so that you're almost at a wash when those service errors come around.
Mangual Duran, another tremendous shot. Leandra Mangual Duran, how do you think her game is going to translate to the next level? And still, she's got a lot of room to grow, doesn't she?
Oh, absolutely. She's going to get stronger. What we don't want to happen is that her vertical change at all because she jumps so high up in the air, but she's going to get stronger in her shoulder and add more power, and then she'll probably incorporate those softer shots more so as she develops into the game.
McKissock once again digs one up. Ball kept alive. Also got Haley Frank in the game right now for OTVA, active on that last point, wearing the dark jersey, number 2. Haley Frank had a couple good digs.
Absolutely, and what a good set by Sierra Jenkins to push that ball back. She's almost in the middle of the court, pushes it all the way to that pin so Sydney Conley can just go up there and rip that ball down the line. Great hustle by Jenkins to get there.
5 kills now for Sydney Conley. So Conley's been very steady. Here she is again, Sydney Conley. Tremendous blocker, tremendous outside hitter as well. Where do you think she's going to play in college?
Oh, I don't even know. Wherever she wants.
It's a tough question, isn't it?
Oh, gosh, for sure. It always depends on kind of what the rotation of the colleges need. So not everybody's going to need a right side attacker at that time. So even though some of the elite programs would want her on their team, it depends on what they need from a team perspective.
Sure. Mangual puts it over. PNK. Their score doubled up right now, 20-10. Haley Frank, good job off the bench. Conley, another big swing. PNK keeps it off the ground. There's Frank again. That's a great job coming in off the bench and giving your team a nice lift. But this point will be for PNK. Let me ask you this, Aaron. What is the determining factor that makes a player a middle blocker rather than an outside hitter? What qualities do you think a middle blocker has that maybe an outside hitter doesn't have as much of? Is it that defensive ability? Is it height?
The positions are so different. Like an outside hitter, it's all about, being able to adjust the sets that aren't very good and making plays. Where if a middle blocker, yeah, you are middle blocker focused, but you also have to be really, really disciplined with your footwork and get there. So they're very, very different positions, and the mentality of both of those are exceedingly different too. A lot of times the outside hitters have to think out of 10 swings, they think defensively on 9 and ripping it on 1 versus middle blockers and middle attackers, they can probably do the opposite.
Right now, Sydney Conley's doing both. I mean, she is putting on a show for OTVA Rox Red. They are pulling away here in this second game of the 15 Open Championship. Saw OT Rox Red in the 12-year-old final, falling to Vaquetas, the team from Puerto Rico, but then going on to win the 14 championship. 22-12 now is your score.
Oh, great play.
Keeps it alive. PNK with the point.
And Elena Scott, she tried to do that a few times in the first set, and she had one miscue in the second set. But, man, that's a great play. She's showing that she's going to jump set, push that ball to the outside, and just dumps it right over. That's super tricky.
Big-time dig by Bevan. Nice swing, Carpenter. Now players go softly with it, and that's a good job by Mangual Durant, taking a little bit off it.
I'll tell you what, I love watching Sierra Jenkins. I think she is one of the single most composed young setters I've ever seen. She does such a good job of controlling that second ball, quarterbacking this offense. If she senses that panic, she slows the ball down and puts a ball up for her attackers to go swing.
Best shot by Carpenter that she has had today. Caitlin Carpenter comes a little bit late, though. So her team trails 23-14. How about OTVA Rox Red? Their game against Mizuno Sports Performance was a classic. They were down 1-0 in sets, 22-18 in set number 2. Aaron, they came back, refocused, won that match. That was the toughest hill they had to climb to get to today. And now they're looking to finish the job. Known for their offense, this afternoon their defense has really shined. That time Carpenter scores again.
And because Elena Scott actually did that dump the first time, the outside and the middle attacker or the middle blockers are actually waiting just a second longer, and that's freeing some opportunities up for Kaylee Lowe. Or for Caitlin Carpenter, I apologize.
There it is again. So Caitlin Carpenter's starting to feast all of a sudden. And a timeout for OTVA Rox Red. PNK trying to dig deep, see if this team has anything left.
Just keep fighting, keep serving, putting them in a tough spot. Serving, and work hard defense. Get a good touch up there.
After a timeout, the coaches are to do it.
Yeah. Just to make sure you know where your hitters are and talk to her. Help her know where her hitters are and who's coming from where. Okay? Just big steps and get out there and close.
Love the demeanor for Connie Holzmeyer. She has a brother-in-law who's an associate head coach at Florida State University. Also her experience at Kentucky Wesleyan and Georgetown College in Kentucky, but now coaching club volleyball. Just simply loves it, Aaron, and a key part in the development of these young ladies to get their games to the next level.
And I'd love to see the transition of some coaches that go from the collegiate level back to the club level, because, you know, in anything, when you add more of a price tag to your position, it turns into a job. But when you step back and do the club, it's all about the passion. And you can sense her passion with these girls and how she coaches.
PNK, that's going to break the string, as they had 4 consecutive points, but now it's match point. OTVA Rox Red. 24-17, looking to close it out. Emily No will serve. OTVA fans on their feet. Nice play at the net, and that's going to do it. Impressive from first point to final point. OTVA focused, and they showed the entire arsenal here in this 15 Open Championship. Smiling faces and lots of high fives for the team from Orlando. and Tampa thought for a moment they would be seriously challenged here in this championship by a PNK team that had overcome the odds. But just a little bit too much talent from the Sunshine State, and playing in a tournament that they call home, they get it done here this afternoon. Let's take a look at the final numbers. Rox Red, 22-18, the kills edge. What numbers really stand out to you?
Yeah, definitely the kills. Great job by Sierra Jenkins to creating those kill opportunities for her team, and Manguel Duran and Sydney Conley for executing. But that service errors, you cannot ignore that from PNK 7 versus an OT Rox Red 2. And when you're already leading in one category, the one you don't want to give up is those serve errors. So that's probably the biggest difference between these two teams today.
Also, Aaron, passing and defense, when you talk about McKissock and Jenkins, how good are these players?
Yeah, and McKissock just gets around every ball and puts the ball in the perfect position almost every single time and creates those opportunities for Sierra Jenkins to put the ball where her attackers want it to go.
What a summer it's been for the 15-year-olds from OTVA Rox Red as they take the championship here at the 44th AAU Junior National Volleyball Championship. Got tons more volleyball to come here at the ESPN Wide World of Sports. Until next time, for our fabulous crew inside the production center, for Aaron Campbell, I'm Drew Felios saying so long, and we'll see you next time.